Hello, official welcome to the March 10th, 2024. I have not seen YouTube or any of you since March has begun, which feels really wild. It's very strange to take a week off of Soul Circle. But here we are, um, getting back on track after this shamanic training is now finished and complete on my end. It was a really full on, really packed week, and I also got a lot from it and continue to. And so you'll be with me as I integrate the rest of these teachings and healings. Yeah, as time goes on, that's one of the beautiful parts about shamanic healing is that it's instant, and yet it also has this long lasting kind of trail off result where it continues to feed you as time goes on. So I was typing up some of the notes from some of the circles and different exercises that we did and what messages were given to me. And it was jam packed, let me tell you, and very potent stories, really. This is one thing I also find really interesting about shamanic healing is it invokes that familiar ancient way of storytelling and how we would relate to things larger than ourselves and outside of this earth realm. So very exciting. I'm also really looking forward to empath energetics. So I'm kind of switching gears quickly from shamanic training into sharing this empath energetics program with you all. And as promised, I did say that I was going to do the scholarship draw. And I just felt like it was kind of like losing some of the energy if I did it only in a short video and posted it out to social media. So I thought I'd do it live for us. So I put all the names in this little mug. I will draw something from there. This is for 100% off of the Empath Energetics program for round 6. And it has been graciously donated and supported by an Empath Energetics grad, Sonia Guzman. So I will link her stuff below so you can go check her out as well, because she has taken the Empath Energetics program, is taking it again in round 6. We have a lot of repeats, actually. A lot of grads end up retaking it, not because they didn't do enough the first time, but really because they understand upon finishing it how much more they could glean and how much more there is to know about themselves. So the best way, I think, to find healing and internal strength and power as an empath, or empowerment as an empathic person, is to know yourself, right? Like, know thyself is really the core of this program, because we do archetypes, we do intuition development so that you can be making decisions from that place. And speaking of which, I'm really getting the suspense going here. I'm waiting this. But speaking of which, I talk about intuition and nomadic living and a whole bunch of different things on this podcast that I really was a fan of. It felt like a really good conversation. And that is the What Dwells Within podcast. And so you can check that out below too. I'm just excited because it came out today. And it's really, I think it really shows me where, this healing work is at this current moment in time. So if you're looking to kind of get to know me a bit more, or you like listening to things that I say, I think whenever I do a podcast, it's like someone lets me talk about these, more compounded ideas in this brief amount of time rather than these trickle out messages. And so, yeah, it's a good way to kind of check out my philosophy and things and stories. It's a good place, again, for storytelling. So, Empath Energetics Scholarship. For anyone who has signed up for the scholarship, but isn't successful in this drawing, because there can only be one here, then I do feel free, to encourage you to connect with me and see whether this round can work for you in some way. How can we make it easeful for you? Because I think by putting the effort in, even writing the scholarship application, it means that there was this calling, this tug, this pull, and I'd like to help you be able to say yes to that in a way that's not stressful to you. So if you are one of those people and, in a minute you're like, oh, then please feel free to reach out, maybe book a 15-minute with me, and we'll figure you out. We'll figure out your way to get involved this session. We'll be meeting at least twice a week, but I will always give the replays. And so for anyone who's worried about timing, it does come up a lot that people worry about giving the time, or will the timing work for them. This round will probably work a little bit different, because we're going to have probably a grad group and then separate group or groups of the others. My guess. We'll see what happens closer to the time, because I may be guided differently, but that's what it feels like to start. And so what we'll do is we'll have the one teaching with everyone, present per week. And then we'll have separate like hot seat groups where we do the check-ins and we do more of the one-on-one stuff. So I'm really excited about that format. I think it's going to be helpful, and it's going to help people who maybe can't come to the live teaching one to just watch the replay and then catch in on one of the groups. And hopefully by offering multiple groups, if you're ever having to miss one of yours, you might be able to check in on someone else's, and that would be totally welcome in the span of that as well. So feels like a really, like timing wise, very accessible round, but not taking any of the potency away, because I just don't want to do once a week. I need to do at least more than once in order to feel like this program is giving the full power to those who are ready to receive it. So let's do this draw. Maybe in your mind, in your spirit, in your hearts, I'm seeing drum rolls. Okay, this is good. You're all understanding what I'm meaning. I'm not playing piano. That was like a fairy dust drum roll. That's what I'm asking for. Sparkly drum roll. Okay. All right. And we have Kimberly Rivando Robb. I'm so excited for Kimberly. Yay. Cheering, cheering, cheering. I'm so excited. I know that Kimberly has been wanting to take this program and excited for it. And so I'm really excited to welcome her into this next round and make it accessible and make it possible. And yeah, so I'm really excited for you, Kimberly. I will reach out to you as soon as this video goes up and is posted so that it's a surprise for you as well. Yes, goosebumps in the soul circle, and lots of exciting energy. So really excited to welcome you in. And again, for any of the other folks who were in that cup, but it's not their chance this time around, then I do encourage you to reach out to me. I am going to definitely prioritize you as far as the limited amount of payment plan options that I have. I'd really like to offer those to you first, since you've taken the energy. And yeah, put that forward. Applause, applause. Thank you, Soul Circle, for being with me on this excitement. Really, this is so much better doing it live. So I'm going to do a quick little reading for our collective energy, and then I'm going to jump into our group Soul Circle. So one more thing. Feels like housekeeping a mundo this week. So one more thing. This is for Soul Circle folks, but it's also for non-Soul Circle folks. So for Soul Circle people who are here and who watch in the replay, I'm inviting us to next week do a bring a friend to Soul Circle. So once a month, I'm going to feel it out and then offer out, hey, next week can be a bring a friend. And so you can share with them the link to be able to join. We'll welcome them in. And then if they are interested, right, they can always join for a free trial of Soul Circle and then access that. But of course, all the empath energetics folks also get Soul Circle access. So, you know, the real deal work happens actually doing the program and the course. And that's usually what draws people to stay in the Soul Circles, to stay connected with people of this similar mind. So bring a friend will be next week. And they don't need to pay for that. It'll just be a welcome on in, and we'll maybe even prioritize them since they don't come as often. And then we can hold space for that, because those who are in the Soul Circle know that whenever we see other people going through things, we tend to get messages for ourselves in watching their readings as well. So I do love that about the program, and also just about this work in general. This week, this is the week of like the 10th. Oh, it's 17/17 on my end here. This is the 10th to the 16th of March. So we have the Miriam, which says sacred vision. It says, choose to forgive in order to heal and see the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. And this also is required with your own love and your own loving energy, not having boundaries. That also means it doesn't have limitations, right? Often we will tell ourselves we only have a certain capacity for something, and then we'll do something that challenges that capacity and see that we were proven wrong. So I like to say our mind doesn't always know our limits as much as it likes to think. Usually our mind is actually trying to hold us a little bit safer. It's trying to build this gate, this little fence, just to make sure that we don't overextend ourselves too often. And so with love is an energy that continues to fill you up. And, you know, when you give it, you end up getting more, as long as you are keeping that cycle open and receptive to that. So in some ways, I would say that love is limitless and has no boundaries. Of course, you need to respect other people's boundaries, but that's like a different issue to what I'm saying. We also have grounding, and I'm really drawn to those two little acorns in the center. And this idea that it's very small things that create very large change, right? So very small acorns create very, very large oak trees. And it's a really beautiful recognition, I think, that when it feels like we're maybe just doing tiny things and they're not adding up, that actually over time, suddenly these trees become massive. And the effects of them also are massive. It's like a ripple that eventually somehow generates enough, wind to become waves. And there's a big difference between a ripple and a wave. If you're the one starting the ripple, it might feel like you're not doing anything because it just, stops. But again, as soon as that wind propels it and there's force behind it, it picks up speed. And that is part of the energy that I will feel also going into this week. That this, it's funny, I'm seeing like, I'm seeing like someone driving a boat. Driving? It's not sailing because it's not a sailboat. Driving a motorboat. Anyways, I'm seeing someone do this, but I'm actually seeing like almost like a parachute thing coming after it. This is a very strange vision because I don't know what this is. But someone will know. Someone water sporty, make a comment for me so I can be more educated. But it feels like it's almost adding drag. So it's like a race car, and then it has this like parachute. It's like adding drag and adding force, and that parachute, that force of like pulling back, feels like your own resentments and your own grudges or guilt or bitterness held towards something. And so it feels like if you could let go of some of that this week, you'll also feel more solid. Because usually we're not very comfortable when we're going through those types of emotions, and it takes us away from ourselves. Yeah. So we have be supportive, and it says make a genuine effort to show you care. And so it does feel like this week is one where we might be stretching our belief on what our capacity is to care and to love and to show energy. And I know I'm really resonating with this personally. I'm just gonna pull one more card, which is healing with the fairies, because I've been feeling a ton of fairy energy today as well. And lately in general. But if you saw my Instagram, you saw that I posted a little video of me dancing around like a little fairy. And it was like all in blue because of the filter. And yeah, I think there's a lot to say about nature and then what is beyond nature. And it feels like a good week for exploring what is beyond nature. So it could also be a good time for communing with like water spirits or tree spirits or something of the same nature. Yeah, and problem resolved. So if you are concerned about something, if you are worried about maybe someone, some situation, some project working out or not working out, it feels like there will be resolve through this. Again, dropping any type of guilt or resentment or bitterness, seeing that you have more capacity for loving energy and for giving and for caring. And then again, remembering that it's these small actions that turn into large oak trees. Maybe finding some ways to ground out in nature also. It's like the need for resetting through nature this week is strong. So reset through nature. Okay, let's connect. Let's see who of us needs these messages and what else we need in the soul circle. I'm really interested because it feels like so long, like 2 weeks, it feels like so long not seeing you all. So I'm really excited to hear what's transpired. So let's switch out. I'm excited to read these comments. And if you're watching on YouTube, feel free to cheer and congratulate Kimberly for gaining the scholarship, for taking the effort for herself to go and do that. And for the opportunity to go do that. We can also say thank you to Sonia. And then also you can just feel free to check the links below, get involved with Soul Circle. If you're interested in the Bring a Friend, but you don't know anyone currently in Soul Circle, you can know me, just message me and I will let you in just to see what it's like, to see if you want to be on the other side of this. Okay. So enjoy the rest of your weeks, your days, and we will chat soon, YouTube.